I'm live. I'm reading extracts out of Joan Marshall Grant's Speaking from the Heart. It is her book about ethics, reincarnation, and what it means to be human. It was all put together and edited by Nicola Bennett, Jane Law, and Sophia Rossoff. And there's much of her in here, and I am here in a chapter which contained her jottings, notes she left, but which have never been put into a book. And they are put together here, and I'm in chapter 20. The most basics is the heading, and here is a note about conversation with J.W. while she was dying. Take off your body like a glove from your hand, and feel that hand washed in the water of your affections, and in the water of your tears, and in the water of boundless life, which you have so freely and so often shared. Do not regret the waste of time or the pain. In the great pattern, neither were necessary, but they will contribute more than you now realize to the great pattern. Start feeling, my dear love. Start and continue to feel joy. Feel it, taste it, hear it, smell it. The smell of joy is such a sweet freedom. You are free to die because you have freely lived. You have not run away. You have not run away. Accept the welcome you have so richly earned. Accept the welcome accept the welcome you have so richly earned. This phrase repeated like a bell tolling. It is such fun, so happy, that the sad things, the pain, the endurance, and above all the loneliest do not go with you. Just let them drop. The gravity of their own level of reality will take them from your shoulders if you just let it happen. A body is like a cloak you let drop from your shoulders, not even as difficult as a dress you have to unbutton and step out of. Remember how many you have loved, and rejoice in your remember the capacity. Remember the capacity of your heart, and rejoice in your freedom. Headed Love, for essay on love. Love is never free. No right to it whatsoever. So sad that people are taught they have a right to be loved and so feel guilt, when in fact they never owned that thing, that right. Love is never blind. The longing to be loved is a very excellent spur to evolve, for love belongs to the level of reality where no concealment is possible. One can be loved only for what is. Therefore the lovely aspects are those which require no concealment and therefore belong to extra 3D more than here, and so really are immortal. Death us do part. Death takes off the blinkers which blinded wife and husband to each other's unlovability. Sad sign of madhouse ethics that lures supposed to increase lovability are cover-ups, more blinkers, deodorants, scent, wigs, etc., and all other status symbols. One can respect, etc., one can respect, etc., people for what they do, but one can only love them for what they are. I think I've might read this before. There is only one way, at least only one way relevant to individuals concerned with this sphere of evolution, of which planet Earth and its levels of consciousness are my primary concern, by which evolution can occur. This is the overlap with other forms of life, which are on the same formal wavelength as you are. These other forms may be in different shapes, catalogued in 3D under different sections, man, animal, plant, but only insofar as you can say, I am you, do you flow, and this can sometimes happen far more easily with a tree or a cat. than with another human. For so far I feel only Homo sapiens is so miserly with his feelings that even the artificers who created his species weep for shame that their children, of whom they hoped so much, have proved so parsimonious even of the endless bounty of affection, which is the source not only of their continuation, but even of their origin. How can they be so insentient as not to feel the very simple truth? No, not just truth against which they have constructed to their pain and sorrow manifold defenses against the love of their gods. That only by an overlap with someone else can anything more than they are here and now ever come into being, or even be. Cannot they see, even with their microscopes and telescopes, that there has to be two lions, two cats, two humans, who overlap even for a second of clock time before they can create something additional to the two of them? It is always hoped that in the process of this overlap, they will realize that if they learn the very simple principle, which has been said over and over again by all of us, over and over again, that only when they are the other person will they grow. No species who would not hear the rhythm of this basic root has survived. Will they never see they cannot flow except by following the vision which only sees only by climbing the hill? Will they never see that the only question we ever ask them is, how did you love? To love is to wish to grow. How obvious, once one sees it. To love is to wish to grow. Of course. The overlaps. I'm only what they are. Of course, I'm not wide enough, tall enough to give them space in which to exercise their wings. One can never cause to grow another bird's wings. One can only strive and sometimes contrive to give it airspace in which to be cognizant of the have run out of words. It is beyond words. I am all the others whom I have loved, no matter who they were or who they now are, down all the ages since I started to enter the great dance. I am the rocks, the plants, the animals, the humans, and also those who are ahead of me on the great creativity. Creativity is the word, not journey, by which I mean an adjustment of the energies involved in the benign flow by which the younger creates the older by the employment of their energies in the natural sequence of the human evolution. When I'm doing my master's business, I offer all whom I can, and therefore who I have been, and sometimes even who I will become, for them to share with me that which will bring them most freely in tune with the harmony which is the creative energy which, if need be, can transform the distorted pattern, be it body or psyche, into what lets the creative energy go free to do its work. I only do what is needful to remind them of their own rhythm. In me is an innate rhythm to which they can resonate, to get their own beat in resonance with so many millions and trillions of others who know where we came from and where we are going. Quite soon afterwards there was a drought, and the water channel ceased to flow. The fish pool got lower and lower, and the fat fishes got more and more frightened, until they lay gasping in the mud at the bottom of the pool, and then they died. But the little scarlet fish was living very, very happily in the coral palace under the sea. I'm ending this here with the editor's note. Although speaking from the heart was always a 3-person enterprise, we decided towards the end of the editorial process that one person was needed to give shape and context to the book. Thus it was that Nicola organized the material into chapters, and wrote background information about Joan's life. Jane and Sophia edited, improved, and finalized her drafts. Well, this was a wonderful book. I enjoyed reading it, and I hope you enjoyed listening.